This week we are watching three markets. That's the Nasdaq, British Pound, and then Euro USD. We are watching three markets that are telling very interesting story. But I don't want to start with the direction for this week. I just want us to start with the liquidity. That having been said, you can see that Nasdaq has just come through a week of weakness while the cable, that's British Pound USD, Euro USD, continue to benefit from dollar weakness this week. So the question for us this week going into this coming week isn't simple that we are bearish or we are bullish in all these three markets. No. The real question remains this: where is price drawing next? And what are the things or what will happen before we can trust this narrative? That having been said, let's dive in and map it out. All right, we are already here. This is Nasdaq. Watching Nasdaq, like we said, it has gone through a week of weakness for the Nasdaq. It's dropped all through the week, was bearish, and this is where we are on Nasdaq. This is where price is at the moment on Nasdaq, which is USTEC. So let's move straight away to the weekly time frame on Nasdaq as we map those things or those liquidity areas together. This is Nasdaq and this is a weekly chart. As you watch out, you can see these are the level we have on Nasdaq. So the question now is, where is price and where is our dealing range? We are watching those particular dealing range, this high and using this low, we can see this was the previous dealing range we are dealing on Nasdaq. And then let's expand this. Price was able, the last 2 weeks price ran into this main threshold of the order block on the weekly time frame and respected that the previous week, and then came up this week again, respected that level and dropped hugely into the fair value gap of the weekly time frame. So this is where we are on Nasdaq at the moment. Price is currently at the fair value gap of this particular dealing range. So that having been said, which other range are we looking at? Because apparently price has driven another new high and still the old low. So right now, they're still valid, but then we have to focus just to get exactly what we are looking at, to take it bit by bit, not in a hurry. The story, taking the story chapter by chapter. So at this moment, we are looking at this high of Nasdaq this week, and then maybe this low because this is apparently a long week. So we are looking at this particular low and this low. The question remains, where exactly is price? If we map out or check out from this particular high to this low, price is apparently at the equilibrium stage within this daily range. And I don't want to speak too many things. I want whereby everybody will be able to understand it. So price apparently at the half. That's what we mean when we say the equilibrium stage. Prices are apparently at the equal stage of this particular dealing range. And within this dealing range, where are the area liquidity lies? Above this high are liquidity, below the lows are liquidity. Within this dealing range, we have levels that price could apparently respect and react to. And these are the levels we mapped out. The first of them is this particular fair value gap that price is apparently at the moment. And the next level will be this order block on the weekly time frame, which if price move this level, will be seeking this particular level before it could get to this level, which is a level on the daily time frame. And also within this, on the upside of this particular dealing range, we also have this cap, which price we also respect if price is coming towards this area at some point, and also this level, which is also a main threshold of this other block on this level, and another level which will be a lower time level. So that having been said, we've been able to identify or define our dealing range. We are looking and map out the liquidities within this dealing range that we are watching. So we drop to a daily time frame. Also remember, we have a range in mind, the highs and the low of the weekly time frame that we are looking at. So price apparently at this level has been or is still on the weekly fair value gap, which we just showed previously. So what's next for us this week? The question is, what are we looking at? Which liquidity is price likely to be drawn to? That's the question. We said the questions we are going to be looking at, or the things we are looking at first will be, where are we? What structure are we? Um, where is the liquidity or liquidity pools? So what is the draw on liquidity, and where should are we looking at price, expecting price to react? So these are the things we are looking at, and what we confirm or kind of make us trust our narrative. So we've been able to say all those things. Moving to the daily time frame, like we said, we've shown all these things. What are we looking at this week? We want to see price reacting to this level. It is at this level, which is a fair value gap on the weekly time frame. We want to see price running up, maybe this level acting as a resistance for us. What is in that level? Let's go back. So moving to that level, that's a gap on the weekly time frame. Yes, this is a gap on the weekly time frame. So we want to see price kind of respecting this area a bit. If it didn't continue down, like we said, coming back to this level. Why do we want to see price coming back to this level? To give us a reason to be in this market. Apparently, within this hour dealing range, like we said, price is in equilibrium. We want to be able to sell when price is at premium. So price getting back to this level give us a premium price level, which will help us to be able to be in this market to the downside of the market. That's why we want to see price getting back a little bit to give people reason to sell in this particular market. So that's the level we've mapped out, and price might apparently continue a bit. If here didn't hold, price might continue to this level or even to this level. But the main area we are watching price should be this level, but we are not eliminating this level. We are not eliminating this level. If we drop to the 4 hedge, we look at the reason why we include those level in our level or area of reactions. Here is the first level, which this would be the previous week high, which is also a level of liquidity. So we can add that. So we've added that in our chart. Yes, this is the first level of previous week high, but this is an obvious previous week high. That's why we're adding it. So these are the L level we want to see price um, run into for us to be able to start reasoning or working in line with the market to short the market. This level is our major area of focus, but we give room because this is Nasdaq. It can have a huge move. It can get to this level or it can get to this level, which is this is a fair value gap on the for hedge. After price ran into the mean threshold, we saw this displacement. So we want to see price rebalancing itself, covering at least most of these displacements to give us a reason to be in this market to the downside. So market resumes, and then all these levels are being taken out and continue to go high. We can say it. We have to rewatch and see what the new narrative or what new information that the market will be giving to us. That means it invalidates our narrative. Yeah, so this having been said, where are the area to the downside that we are looking at price to get back to? We said we want to see price giving us a reason to be in this market and to sell the market at least to this level, which is an order block on the weekly time frame. So this is it. If we get back to the weekly time frame, we want to see market at least closing, moving a little bit down to this level and maybe to this level. What is this level? Let's move to the daily time frame. There's a gap on the daily time frame. You can see markets creating this gap. We want to see market also filling back this gap, or it might even get to this other block on the daily time frame. But our first point of draw on liquidity remains this other block on the weekly time frame. So as you can see, these are the areas we are watching price. We've been able to identify all that we said starting from the weekly time frame and starting from the daily time frame, the weekly time frame, the daily time frame, the 4 hedge and the 1 hedge or 50-minute time frame, which is the time frame we normally use for words for execution. So what is it that we are looking at? Repeat. We want to see price kind of going back to the upside to give us a premium level to be able to be in this market to the downside. I've been able to mark out those areas as at now before the market regime. These are the levels we have. The market can create a new reason why it might not get to this level if a regime. But all levels remain valid as at now that the market has not resumed. We want to see market maybe running out this old high and watch and see what price we do. They want to see market getting back to this level, which is a level on the weekly time frame to act as a resistance and give us the reason at least to trade this market a little bit down more to the downside. You can see this market has been on the consolidation within the weekly time frame, but then that's why I want to take it bit by bit. These are the areas that we are watching. If anything changes, so we update our narrative in line with whatever information that the market will be giving us on Nasdaq, USTEC this week. So that having been said, we move on to cable, which is British pound USD. This is cable also. We are starting from the weekly time frame on cable using our weekly daily range, which is also a good place to start. We can see that cable has also been on range within a long time, and that's why we're not looking at the whole market. We take it bit by bit like we always do. Remember, we prefer to use structure over speculation and mapping out liquidity instead of personal opinion. So within this, where is our dealing range? The first dealing range we're looking at was this particular dealing range. You can see price running out this liquidity here on the weekly time frame. Yes, as at last week, like we said, British pound USD, they took advantage of the weak dollar and they have been gaining highs for the past how many weeks on cable. White dollar has been down this particular week that just passed. So what is it we are looking at? What are the things we are looking at? We are here. This is our daily range. Also, we can apparently use this particular daily range. We can use this if we want to, whichever one we want to use. It will still have something to work with. So this is it on cable. We have daily range between this low and this high. And then we have within this daily range, where is price at the moment? Unlike Nasdaq, which price at the apparently at the moment is on the equilibrium, British pound USD just took out an old high of the weekly. This is an old high of the weekly within the daily range. So are we going to create a new range, or is price going to continue to go to the next range, which is this? That we have to find out as we also map out this liquidity together. So after running out this high, what are the things we're expecting? We always say that price is looking out for liquidity, is running from one side of liquidity. So the sell side liquidity on the weekly time frame, the first one has been taken. There is another, the buy side liquidity on the weekly time frame on British pound has been taken. That's the first one. There is another one. But then what are we looking at? From this particular level where we are, we want to do what we always want to buy at discount. We always want to sell at premium side of the market. So at this moment, we can say the market is apparently on the premium side of the market. So if we drop to the daily time frame, that having been said, this is where we are. Also, let's see the chart on the daily time frame. All right, so the same level that the market ran out on the weekly time frame is also what we know as double top in a normal chart language. They call this area double top, right? So market just run out that liquidity. What are my expectations? What are we looking at from the liquidity narrative side point of view? We want to see a kind of, you can apparently say maybe that this is a bullish structure on the daily time frame, depending on where you are looking out from. That's why we want to take it bit by bit. We want to see market rebalancing itself to the day side. That's why we are not telling you maybe, yes, the structure might be an uptrend, but then it might be a down opportunity for you. That's why we take it from that aspect. So here, market has run out that liquidity on the upside. We want to see a rebalancing to the downside. Also on British pound USD, where are the areas we're expecting price to get to? Back to the weekly time frame, price has just run out weekly liquidity high. Price has a room to continue to go up, but we want to see a rebalancing first. Using the weekly dealing range we've mapped out, we want to see price at least rebalancing itself to this level of fair value gap on the weekly time frame. Are there areas in the daily time frame price could react to and stop without getting to this particular level? Yes. So let's get to the daily time frame and see those areas. So within this area, within this dealing range, we are looking at this level as the area we want to see price rebalancing, getting back to itself. But price has other block. This little candle here is an order block. Price has this fair value gap that price might apparently return to this fair value gap and just continue to go higher. Price might also return to this level and also continue to go higher. But apparently I want to, or we are looking at to see price at least getting back to this level, which is a fair value gap on the weekly time frame. It might also reach this level, which is also another block on the daily time frame. These are the primary level we want to trade into before we can think of buying. So we are watching price to rebalance itself to this level. We said again is a fair value gap on the weekly time frame. So we drop on a much lower time frame. Has price given us reason to think of this market or look at this market as a market that is apparently going to drop to respect the level we mapped out? This is where we are. Price might resume, go up a little bit and come down. But let's drop to a much lower time frame. We normally use the 1H or the 15-minute time frame. So today we are looking at 1H. So if we open our chart, as we can see, this is the previous week high. This is the high that the market created on Friday. That's Friday's high. And then we are looking at this at the level that price might apparently react to and then starts to go down as at today before the market resumed. So we are looking at this level of market reopening going up a little bit, and then we want to see market respecting this level. So, but if market continue to go up, meaning that the narrative has changed, market will be seeking the next liquidity, which is this. But as of today, our eyes remain on this level. We want to see the reason to take this market to the downside to get the rebalancing that we are seeking, which is a level on the weekly time frame, at least to this level. What lies here? They are all liquidity, or what we can call equal lows also. So we want to see price running into this level to run out this liquidity. It might get to this level, but this is the first primary area we are looking at before we can think or look at it as an opportunity to buy the market again. Let's drop much more to 50-minute time frame and see clearly what happened at that level. As market ran out this liquidity, we can see there is a drop. Can we call this a displacement? Yes, we can. So the market moved away from that area quickly. You can see the level it dropped and returning back. So we keep our eyes on this level as an area of reaction before the market reaction. But market can open and give us another level of reaction. But for now, our eyes remain to this level. We want to see market, it might even get to this level. But these are the major areas we are expecting price to give us a reason to be in this trade to get the rebalancing of the higher time frame on British pound USD. So these are the level we are also watching at on British pound USD. That is the cable. We've been able to map out from the weekly time frame to the daily time frame to the 4H, even to the lower time frame. These are the areas we are watching on cable, which is British pound USD. So that having been said, let us move next to Euro USD and also see what we are watching on Euro USD. What is it for us on Euro USD? Like we said, they have been taking advantage. Last week, they all took advantage of the weak dollar and has been on the run to the upside. Also starting from the weekly time frame, where is our dealing range on Euro US? We have a dealing range which is this high and also this low. Where is price at the moment? Price is apparently on the premium level within this dealing range. You can see it. It's at this little high, which is also a high on the daily time frame. Would price respect this high, or would price continue to go higher? Price might apparently get to this level, which is also an order block on the weekly time frame, which is still also a premium level within this dealing range we are looking at on Euro USD. So price has a room to also get to this level. So we keep our eyes first on this level because price might rebalance itself on this level. If price is apparently rebalancing itself, where is price likely to get to? Let's go to the monthly time frame. We map out this particular level as we are apparently expecting price to respect this, but price broke through this fair value gap on the monthly time frame. So if price is going to return back, we want to see price doing what, rebalancing itself to this level. So that's the level we've chosen on the weekly time frame. Maybe price getting back to this level to give us what, even a discount. Yes, to buy back if it's going to continue up. It might get to this level also, but first our eyes remain on this particular level on the, which is a level on the monthly time frame. So let's even drop more to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, as we can see, this was what we had. Price taking out the high on the weekly time frame. So what our expectation? We want to see price at least get onto this level first, order block on the weekly time frame is an order block on the weekly time frame to give us a reason to trade this market a little bit down to rebalance itself, even if it's going to continue to go higher. But let's watch this level. Like we said, has it given us a reason? I haven't seen much reason for it to drop from this place, but it could. So if we drop to the forehead, we can see as the market at that particular level created what, a double top. This becomes another liquidity and level that we have to keep our eyes, which will also become our Friday high. So let's give that a map. Yes. So we've been able to drop these. These are the area we are looking at. First, we want to see price maybe resume, continue to go higher, maybe taking out this double top and also reaching to this level order block on the weekly time frame. Then we start looking at to be in this trade. And as we're in this trade, our eyes should be drawn on liquidity at least to this level. Yes, let's go back to the one hedge. You can also see it clearly that on the one hedge, that's a clear double top that become an area of liquidity pool. So price regimes moved up, take out those liquidity pools, give us a reason. We want to see displacement from those levels to give us a reason to be in this trade. Price reaching this level is not for you to jump into the trade. No, price reaching this level is for you to watch out and see the reaction of price. Then it is there going to be a displacement on this level. We watch and see exactly what price is going to do for us to take this trade to get a rebalancing of the level of the move that price had the previous week. So these are the area that we've been able to map out this week, starting from Euro USD, then the British Pound USD, then that of Nasdaq. We've been able to identify the levels that we are watching out this level. We've been able to identify the reason that if it didn't move in the area, what can invalidate whatever we are saying or change the narrative. These are the area that we've been able to identify. Remember, it's not about prediction of the price. It's about mapping liquidity first and also doing what? Following structure over speculation. Have a lovely week of trading till we come your way again to review what happens and narrate the next one. Thank you.